Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone, here is Muhammad Imran. I hope you're doing well. We are with another lecture in the subject stylistic. So, we'll discuss today some basic notions in style and stylistics. We will also focus how style is studied from different perspectives in the subject stylistics, such as style as a man, style as deviation, style as a choice, style as situation, style as a register, and so on. So I hope you will find this lecture very fruitful. Let's start our today's lecture. The concepts of style and stylistics. Introduction. So, style is the use of language in different ways, all for the purpose of achieving a common goal to negotiate meanings. Now, what does it mean to say the use of language in different ways? If we focus, so the novelists write in different style, the poets write in different style, the journalists write in different style. Now, within a particular genre, for example, in novels, so every novelist will have their different styles because two novelists cannot write in one style. Similarly, if we focus in poetry, so there are different types of poet, and all these poets will write in different style. So no two poets can write in the same style. Similarly, if we focus journalist, so every journalist style would be different from other journalists. So even then within a particular genre, we have different styles. Similarly, that if we focus in everyday life situations, so we can see that politicians, they have their own style, right? And teachers have their own style. Then within politician, that every politician has different style. So why do they speak or why do they write in different styles? Because every person, every writer has certain goal, has certain aims. So they want to achieve common goals by using different style. Now, for example, that why a poet write in a distinctive style that is different from a novelist, because that he wants to achieve aesthetic function or aesthetic beauty, right? So a novelist may have different purpose, a poet may have different purpose, a politician may have different purpose, a religious scholar may have different purpose. So that's why the different styles are used by different people, by different writers to achieve common goal. So style means different things to different people, right? So that's quite clear that when we talk about style, so then style mean different thing to different people. For me, style may be different thing. For you, style may be different thing. For example, for me, style is that when I walk, so I have my own style. When my friend walks, so he has his own style. For you, it may be that when one of your friend bowls, so he has his own style. When one of your friend bats, so he has his own style, right? For someone else, might be that when one of his friend writes, so he writes in different style. One of his other friend, when he writes or she writes, so he or she writes in different style. So for everyone or for different people, style mean differently, right? That's why their style mean different thing to different people. But here we don't talk about style in everyday life situation. We talk, whenever here we talk about style, so we mean style in literature or style in language. The notion of style. Style is most often discussed in the context of literary studies. For example, novel, drama, poetry, prose, etc. However, the word style in its most general sense of a way of doing things. That is the general definition of a style, and that a way of doing things. is used in multiple contexts. The collecting range of this word unfold almost every sphere of human activity. The Oxford English Dictionary has recorded as many as 28 different entries under the term style. So it means that how diverse is the meaning of style, right? Now, as a critical concept, style has been the focus of attention for continuous and has been studied from various perspectives. Now, we will study that how style is studied from different perspectives and what are those different perspectives. Let's discuss it. The first one is style as the man. This is based on the notion that every individual has his or her own unique way of doing things. It's quite clear that when I do things, so I have my own way. When you do things, you have your own way. And no two person are of exactly the same character, right? So no two person can have the same exact style. There might be little bit similarity, but we can't have exact the same style. So there are always distinctive features that distinguishes one person from other. For example, when I speak, so I speak different than you. When you speak different from someone else. So that is not just speaking, that if we come and talk about then writers, poets, and dramatists, so then every dramatist has his own unique style of writing. Every poet has his her own unique style when he or she writes a poem. Thus, in literary style, example, how the style of Bacon is different from Charles Lamb. So we see that how the style of Shakespeare is different from Bacon, or how the style of Marlowe is different from the style of Charles Lamb. Even that within like the same genre like drama if we talk, so the style of the style of Marlowe would be different from the style of Shakespeare. And then if we come towards talk about prose writing, then the style of Charles Lamb would be different from the style of Bacon. If we talk about poetry, then the style of Keats would be different from the style of Shelley. And the style of Wordsworth would be different from the style of Black. So it means that every poet, every writer, they have their own distinctive style. And the same is true also with everyday life situation, that everyone style is different from another one. If that is eating style, that is drinking style, that is dressing style, that is walking style, that is driving style, and that is even reading style, or that is like a watching style, or that is like a writing style. So every individual has his or her own distinctive style of doing things. A person's style may also be shaped by his social and political background. This is also true because social and political and cultural background also affect your style, the way you write something, okay, or the way you speak. So you can't ignore, you can't avoid the influence of political background, social or cultural background. Similarly, that religious inclination, culture, education, geographical location, etc. also affect your style. Simply put, that the notion of style as the man sees style as index of personality, right? So that is the index of personality, and your personality is shaped by the culture you belong to, by the social norms you adopt, by the political norms you adopt, by the religious inclination you adopt, and by the education you receive, or the geographical location you belong to. So these all are the elements which impact the style of a writer, a poet, or like a everyday life person, or it may be like a scholar, or it might be like a journalist, or it might be like a play script writer. So whoever there are, so these elements truly impact the style of a person. Thus, we can say that style is the index of personality. We can see the style in the personality of a person, and then your personality is shaped by social, cultural, religious, and political elements. Another perspective through which style is studied is known as style as deviation. Now, what does mean by deviation? When expected or normal way of writing or presenting an idea is not followed, then we say that it is deviation. Now, when an idea is presented in a way that is different from expected way, because sometimes you expect that this idea would be presented in this way. Like in prose, we have subject, verb, and object when we talk about English sentence structure. But we see that in poetry, this normal or expected way is violated, or it is deviated. So we will have a comprehensive lecture on style as deviation in coming lecture. So then we say that such a manner of carrying it out has been deviated from the norms. So we have certain norms, we have settled norms, and we have settled standard for presenting an idea in writing. It can be prose, it can be poetry, or it can be newspaper writing, or any type of writing. But when the settled norms or the expected norms or expected way are violated or are not followed, then we say it is deviation. So the concept of style as deviation is based on the notion that there are rules, convention, and regulation that guide the different activities that must be expected. Thus, when these conventions are not compiled with, there is deviation. So there are some conventions for writing, right? So we have convention for writing in poetry, we have convention for writing in prose, we have convention for writing in a newspaper. So when these conventions are deviated, then we say that the writer has deviated. Style as period or time is another perspective through which style is studied. So style may also relate it to time period. This is so because language is dynamic. It is always changing. This becomes obvious when we look at the stage in the development of the English language. Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. So the style of the Old English then is different from the style of Middle English, and the style of Middle English is different from Modern English. If you pick up any work and that is written in Middle English, so you will say this is the style of Middle English. And if you pick up like Beowulf and you read it, then you will say style of Old English. So then it is referred to style as period or time. When we look at the script in Old English now, it will seem as if it were written in different language because of the differences in syntax, vocabulary, spelling, etc. So if you pick up like Beowulf or something that is written in Old English, so you won't be able to understand it 100%, not even 20 or 30%, right? Similarly, that if you pick up something that is written or produced in Middle English, so you will understand perhaps 50 or 60%. But if you pick up something that is written in Modern English, like in the 16th century, 17th century, so you will be able to understand and grab the whole idea. So that's why, because the syntactic structure and the vocabulary use and the style, everything would be different in Old English. Spelling would be different in Old English. Even within the so-called Modern English, there are variation in the type of. Now, even in Modern English, we have variation, because if you pick up something that is produced in 16th century or something that is produced in 20th century, so there will be huge differences in spelling and syntactic structure and vocabulary, because there would be certain ideas, certain things that existed in 16th, 17th century, but those things do not exist now. So language is dynamic, it changes with the passage of time. So English, what we use today, is different from Shakespearean English in many ways. So the English that is used in Shakespeare time is quite different from the English that is used today. Another perspective is style as situation. Style as situation means that in different situations we use different style. Now, usually language is used according to situation or circumstances. It is the context that determine language choice in speaking or writing. So if you are in one kind of situation, so you will use one kind of style. And if you are in another kind of situation, so you would use another kind of style. Like for example, that if you're writing an essay, so you will have one kind of writing style. While if you are writing your thesis, so you will have another kind of writing style. Similarly, that if you are typing a text message, so you will have another kind of writing style. While if you are writing something in the newspaper, then you will have another kind of writing style. Similarly, that if you are in the classroom, so you will speak in another style. While you are in front of your friend, then you will speak in another style. So according to situation and according to the context, style of language also changes. So certain words are appropriate for certain occasion, while some are considered taboo, vulgar, or abominable. Now, for example, a professor in a scholarly conference cannot indulge in a vulgarism like that theory is fucking up, because he is in a very formal situation. The context does not allow him to use such kind of phrases or choice of words or sentences. So you can use such kind of phrases, sentences where you are in front of your friends or you are in formal situation. So style changes and varies according to situation and circumstances. Another perspective through which style is studied is known as style as choice. Sometimes a poet, a writer, and an author have several options, or he or she can choose one of the option, right? For example, a writer may have like options A, B, C, D, or E, or he can choose any option here. We have to focus that why an author or a writer use option A, why not B? Why he or she use option C, why not D? Like you can present an idea through several syntactic structures. For example, you can present through active voice or you can present through passive voice. You will say that why an author has used active voice rather than passive voice. Why he or she has used passive voice rather than active voice. Why sometimes the agent is present while other time the agent is not present. Why? Because one word may have several synonyms. While this synonym has chosen by the writer, why not that one? Similarly, we have several syntactic structures. Why this syntactic structure he or she uses, why not another one? So you will have to focus on this. So style is a choice. We will have a complete lecture on this in coming lecture. So please keep watching. While examining the concept stylistic, it is equally essential to give attention to the notion of choice. Choice is very vital instrument of what? Of stylistic, since it deals with the variation and the option that available to an author. Now, since language provides its uses with more than one choice in a given situation. So in one situation, a writer or an poet or in a playwright have several options, right? In one situation, you have to focus that which option he or she selects. Now, there are different choices available to the writer in given text. This then depends on the situation and genre the writer chooses in expressing thoughts and options. style as register. It's another perspective through which style is studied. Register is a variety of language according to use. It depends on three variables: field, tenor, and mode. We will discuss field, tenor, and mode in coming lecture in detail in style as register. Now, field is topic of communication, like for example the ideational function, and tenor is the relationship that obtains between or among the interlocutor and the interpersonal function. And the mode is the medium of communication, written or speech, the textual function. We will discuss them all in detail, but right now you have to know what is style as register. So that is use of language according to situation. Now, changing any variable results in change of register. We use different register throughout a normal day in different contexts, formal, informal, and so on, which are also known as style. So thank you so much. It was all about style and stylistics, and we learned that how style is studied from different perspective in language or literature. So keep watching. We will have a detailed discussion on these all different perspective of style and stylistics, and then you can choose any one of them and you can apply in your research. Thank you so much.